Danny Flexen here with the voice of BT Sport Boxing, John Rawling. John, bit of a shake-up a couple of days before the big fight in that there's some issues with Richard Lartey, scheduled opponent for Daniel Dubois, whether he can get over here or not. What does that do for you and other guys kind of trying to comment on the fight itself? It kind of messes things up at short notice for you, I guess.
Well, it makes it not terribly easy when you've done all your homework and done all your notes and been thinking about the fight that's coming up, and then suddenly there's a possibility it might not be happening and you might be looking for a replacement opponent. But, you know, kind of part of the job, isn't it? You just have to go with it.
Is it one of the many extra benefits then of Joe Joyce's signing being announced today that it can kind of take away a little bit from what we've lost and more on what we've gained?
Well, I think Joe is an exciting signing. I think it's got to be good news for British boxing, and it's particularly a good news for Queensberry Promotions. I think Joe is articulate. He's an exciting fighter to watch. And I think it's going to be fascinating to see how he shakes up against the other emerging talents in the heavyweight division in the UK.
Do you think it's been a shame so far previous to this that Joe hasn't enjoyed the same level of coverage and publicity perhaps as some of the other British heavyweights coming through, including Daniel Dubois and Nathan Gorman, who are already with Frank, just because he's been based overseas so much?
Well, yeah, I mean, you can argue that one, but he's got this tremendous amateur pedigree. And he's done everything that's been asked of him as a professional so far, 8 out of 8 and all knockouts. And I think he's ready to be based back here. I think he's found it difficult being away from home. You know, so fighting over here in the UK and in front of a UK audience, he's going to enjoy the projection. It'll be good news him fighting on the show at Stevenage in May. And I think he's thoroughly looking forward to it, and you can understand why.
After that fight, obviously we don't expect too testing opposition for his first fight under Frank, and it's not too far away either. Who are we going to see him against, do you think, in his first major fight for Frank? I know there's talk it could be Dubois, and purse bids have been cancelled and everything else, but it seems more likely that perhaps Joe will compete at a slightly higher level than Dubois. Is that fair to say? Possibly
so, but I think that a fight against Daniel Dubois, provided Dubois beats Nathan Gorman, if that fight were to happen first, I think that will certainly happen at some point, and I wouldn't be at all surprised to see that fight maybe before the end of the year.
So we could see a situation perhaps where Dubois fights Gorman for the British title rather than Joyce, and Joyce maybe fights someone on the world stage.
I don't know that, but that might be one possible scenario. But I think either way, you know, you've got 3 terrific young talents in the UK at the moment. Well, not young in Joe's case, but he's 33 years old. But I mean, young in terms of international professional experience. You've got 3 emerging talents, and I think it's exciting times for British boxing. You know, I mean, I've been around longer than you, and there've been times when the heavyweight division in the UK has been pretty lamentable, and it's looking as good now as it has for a long time.
Given that we're not sure if the Dubois Lartey is going to happen, and by the time this goes out we might have an answer to that, but what's your highlight of the rest of the card on Saturday night at Wembley Arena?
Richards against Langford is a very good fight. I'm looking forward to seeing that one because Richards has been inactive, but he's clearly got boxing talent. He's a southpaw. Langford's reached the point, having had a couple of defeats against Wellborn, where he really can't afford another slip-up. He badly needs a win to re-establish himself as a credible force in the super middleweight division. I think that is a really good fight. Elsewhere on the card, Sonny Edwards in action, who's never dull. He's a very slick boxer, and Jack Catterall, you know, who's not too far away now, I don't think, from a world title fight himself. So there's other things to look forward to. I just hope that Daniel Dubois still remains a part of it.
It's a hope we all share, John. We thank you for your time, and we hope it all goes great on Saturday night.
Thank you very much indeed.